Mhm. Okay, we should be live. People should be seeing us. Oh,
Or
you burning?
I'm cold.
Cold.
I should have
We
made
are
some hot
live.
chocolate.
People in the chat room, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, there's my alarm. All right, it's 8:30. Is everybody ready?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, let's do this. Sure. Can you start recording? All right, the recorder is on. We are recording. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. I cover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. I'm Scott Burks. We have Shorty Nits manning the phones, and please welcome to my virtual left my co-host, Jazz427.
Howdy, y'all. A big thanks to Adam, aka Carrot Killer, for stepping in for me last minute during last week's show. I know the show was a bit of a technical poo-poo, but nightmare. But I was in a little bit of ER hell with my son. So, but everything's all right. So, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chad. Tonight's episode 557 is recorded live on April 3rd, 2019, and the title is What Irks Ya? Not What Burks Ya, What Irks Ya. Phone lines are open. Give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. But first, Chad, how you doing, buddy? Is everything okay, bud?
Okay. Everything's great now. So, just had to shake my son's head like a snow globe to get his vertigo taken care of, apparently, at the expense of probably my entire out-of-pocket for the year.
Oh, you gotta love that. Yeah, but the good news is it's March, so if anything's like go to all your doctors now that it's March.
Exactly.
That's what you do. Okay, good. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. We the call-in feature tonight is working. The call-in studio is working. So hey, if you got something that bothers you about geocaching, it's a little, not almost say a griping, because I don't think it's griping. It's just little things people do or geocaching does that gets under your skin. Let's talk about that tonight. You got something that gets under your skin, give us a call, 808-468-7924, 808-GOT-SWAG. We'd love to hear about it. Not just ours. We want to hear yours. So if you got a good one that you think nobody else is going to talk about, give us a call. Let's hear about it. But first, Chad, Patreon, sir.
Patreon.
Go on Patreon. It costs a lot of money to make this podcast work. We're currently at 47 subscribers, dude. We're almost hitting 50. Who's going to be the elusive 50th subscriber? We got to give him something special. The 50th subscriber. We want to thank all our current subscribers and our new subscribers, Loon Trackers, who is already a subscriber, already there, but they became gold patron. She became a gold star patron.
All right.
This week. Also, we have the DIG family out of Parrish, New York. Do you know where Parrish, New York is, Chad?
I've heard of Parrish, New York, but I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
It is like north of New York, of the tail end of New York. It's like north of Buffalo is where it is.
Oh, that's cold.
And it's funny because I was emailing with him, and I'm like, hey, where's Parrish? And he tells me where it is. I'm like, and I just responded with Burr, and he's like, yeah, he's like, actually woke up to a foot of snow today. I'm like, oh man, dude, that's terrible.
Yeah. That region of New York is known for heavy snows.
Yes. So, hey, man, DIG family, thank you so much for, and they are also Gold Star patrons. Hey, can't go wrong with that, man. I love Gold Star patrons. So, Thank you so much, DIG family. And hey, speaking of Patreon, I gotta when we talked about possibly going on a hiatus, excuse me, I'm lying totally, not going on a hiatus. When we talked about the Wednesday issue, with that being our Jesse and I, our three kids playing baseball and possibly playing on a Wednesday night. So far, we look at it. So far, we have 3 out of 5 schedules in, and so far there is 6 nights, 6 Wednesdays. But the good news is that there's only one that is late. The other games get out at 7:45, so we could probably make it back here in time. We'll see how it goes. But my point being is that I got an email from some saying, "Hey, why don't you just put the patron shows on the feed? Like the shows, those patron only shows that you give to the patrons. Give them those." And I said, "No.
Those are Patreon only.
Patron shows. Those are only for the patrons. They're not for the public. They're special for if somebody knuckles up to the bar and drops some cash, we're going to give them some extra shows. And what we got this Saturday, by the way, speaking of this Saturday we drop our April Friday Night Roundtable, and it's with Joshua, the geocaching vlogger. I sat down with Joshua because Joshua was here for the last weekend. So I sat down with Joshua. He sat down and we talk about some of his secrets of logging. And he told the story of why he is in Chicago and not in Brazil. Because he should be in Brazil right now. Not only that, Chad. Wait, it gets. I'm gonna give you one better. Also sitting down with me for a 30-minute plus interview. Okay, on a new show we're having called Off the Record. I have an exclusive interview with Joshua's wife, Tammy. Tammy, who has never publicly spoken about her marriage with Josh and what it's like to be the wife of the geocaching vlogger. Spoiler alert, it's not that easy. And just about her life and how they met. She's for somebody who is so hidden and so behind Joshua and really never spoken about, or if people who people wonder, like, Josh is married. Yeah, Josh married, got 3 kids, and they're old.
Right.
So she's pretty great. She's a pretty great girl, and it's a pretty good interview, and you really learn a lot about Josh's wife and the woman behind Joshua, and she's her own woman, and she's awesome. So we got that coming later in the month as well. So some good shows on Patreon. So guys, hop on board, become a patron. It's really simple. Just go to patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
All right. Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more information at cachly.com, CACHLY.com.
Tonight is also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic Logbook. Made with genuine Right in the Rain paper. The Logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, instant tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com. That's ftfgeocacher.com.
And finally, by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Bee Gone soap, itch spray, and 2 scent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. And as a GCPC sponsor special promotion from now until April 18th, that's about 2 weeks from now, we use the code BRINGONSPRING to get 10% off your purchase. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com. And as always, you can find links to all our sponsors in our show notes. Wow. Oh, so in the chat room, I'm looking, someone says that Joshua's wife was in the GIF entry. Jesse, we can't hear you if you're talking.
I'm not talking. I'm just
okay.
shaking my head.
So guys, that was not his wife.
Nope.
Nope. It was his kids.
Did.
It wasn't his wife. And we actually talk about that in the interview too.
I remember some relatively skinny, dark-haired, long-haired lady that I was thinking was his wife, but I'm pretty sure that's not his wife.
Wasn't his wife.
They called her something different. It was very similar to the wife's name, but it was not quite the same.
Yes. So no, she has never purposely been in front of the camera for Joshua stuff.
I wonder if she's accidentally been cameoed in there.
She has. We talk about that on the. We talk all about it on the interview. So, guys, Patreon.com. You want to hear the interview? It's coming later this month. It's gonna be a good one. Speaking of news, here, where's my news bag? There it is. There it is. Speaking of Joshua, the geocaching vlogger April challenge has begun. The you know how they have the monthly challenges, and the challenge this month is it is inspired by us, by our podcast. It is find a cache on someone's property or inside a place of business.
Woohoo!
You think you could pull that one off there, Chad? What do you think?
I plan on doing it this weekend.
Do you really?
Yeah, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to one of our listeners' houses. He's got a cache called Snoopy out in his front yard.
I think I've seen the video for that one. Who is it? Did he make a video of building it?
I don't know. It might be a different Snoopy.
Could be a different Snoopy.
But it's a highly favorited one. So I'm working on my celebration carnival celebration.
Yeah. So Jesse and I went out, right? Last week. Was it last week, Brown? When did we go out?
I think it was last weekend. Yeah.
Last weekend. And we had to go to IKEA of all places. And so we went. There was a couple of caches right by IKEA, and so I'm like, "Hey, Jess, let's grab the caches around IKEA." Turns out there was like 150 points of favorites. Like it was like each of them had like 25 and a 25 and a 50 favorite, right?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. And we next thing I know, we had like all of them but the last one in like a snap.
We got four of the souvenirs and like 6 caches.
Yeah. Just turn yourself up a little bit.
Yeah, I had several souvenirs before I even went out caching for it.
Oh, really?
It was like
from the favorite points.
From the favorite points, I was like,
"Oh, really?
Why do I have souvenirs from these dates?" And then I went back and read the rules again. I was like, "Oh, someone must have favorited some of my caches."
Yeah, people don't favorite my boring caches. They just find them. So if you want more information about Joshua's challenge, his monthly challenge, and how it works, you can go to I have a link that is in the show notes for the YouTube, or you can just go to YouTube and type in, Geocaching Vlogger and find the most recent video. What else we got here, Chad, before we get into the show? Oh, we've got some email.
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
Chad, you want to read the email, Chad?
Sure. So another option that I'm setting up is using an AM transmitter.
So hold on. Let me.
So this is by
M-Nerve
from Port Orchard, Washington.
Yeah, he's talking about. Remember how we were talking about again a front yard cache, and last week, I don't know if you listened to the show last week.
Yeah, I listened to the show.
We had a listener who actually had a receiver going out and sounding off the cords. So this is what he sent me. Go ahead. Sorry.
So another option that I'm setting up is using an AM transmitter. I bought a talking house off of shopgoodwill.com that is used by realtors to advertise homes for sale. You drive up to the house, tune to the frequency on the sign, and listen to a looping recorded message about the house.
I've never...
So it sounds like this is automatic, as opposed to, if I recall right, they were using a MP3 player with a loop track to an FM transmitter.
Correct. Yes. But this guy's got a talking house.
That's cool.
Never heard of that before.
I've done a couple with FM transmitters. I haven't done any with an AM transmitter. But I guess the principle is the same.
Yeah, but Jesse and I just looked for houses for the past 3 months. Jesse, not once did you drive up to a house and tune in to the radio.
Oh, as far as for realtors,
Yeah.
this I have never heard of before.
No, never. Maybe it's
No.
just not popular in Illinois. Maybe, you know.
Or I wonder. I have seen it before, but it's been a long time. So I'm wondering if, like, now that everybody has the internet on their phones, all they do is type in the address and they have all the information at their fingertips. They don't necessarily need that technology anymore.
I don't know.
It's like back in the days when as you're heading towards the airport, you'd see airport information on 8:50 a.m.
Right.
or whatever.
Yes. Chad, good memory. Look at that when you were a child. Good one.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm Nerve. That's interesting. I never even would have thought of that. Never even heard of it before. But another way to do it, guys. Talking house off of Goodwill.
I helped someone set up a broadcast SSID at their house. So basically, set up a router. That's all it is. And so they tune in and hear the router looking for the SSID that rose up when you enable the Wi-Fi on your phone. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you hearing that?
No,
Yes.
don't hear it at all.
I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, and it would broadcast the information as the SSID of the Wi-Fi as to where the cache was.
That's interesting. And it's still up?
Last I checked, it was. I've also built one where you actually log into the Wi-Fi, and the default page that comes up has the information. And I haven't put it out, but I physically built it. So just a Arduino Wi-Fi kit.
Interesting. Yeah, Chad, the chat room saying you're getting echoes. Are you still getting echoes?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback on myself.
Why don't you pop back in again?
Okay.
We'll wait for you. There we go. Hi, Jesse.
Hello.
Is it gone with him now? Is it?
Yeah, it seems to be.
You're not getting it anymore?
Nope.
Okay, good. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Okay, is that any better?
Yes.
Where is he now? Is he better? Jess, is he better? Because I didn't hear it at all. So
Yeah, I'm not hearing the feedback now.
Yeah, that was good.
all right, let's get into this then. What irks you? Guys, again, anybody, you got one, give us a call. 808-468-7924. Give us a call. I want to make sure this call thing actually works now, because it was broken last week. I haven't had a chance to test it. So somebody give me a call. Tell me what irks you. I want to test this thing out. Make sure it's working again. Just take phone calls again. Come on, give me a call. So I'm going to start this off. Really simple, guys. For me, what irks me, people who keep travel bugs. Drives me crazy. And Jesse is completely guilty of this.
Well, do you mean like people who intentionally keep track of travel bugs, or people who accidentally keep travel bugs because of the 50 caches that they found since they picked up that travel bug? Not a single one is big enough to put it in.
Not a single one is big enough.
That irks me.
What happened to the elusive ammo can?
I picked up a travel bug up in Michigan back in January that was like a little car.
We still have it. Yeah, you showed it a couple weeks ago on the show.
Yeah, with a dog tag attached. And all the caches that I have found since January till now, not a single one has been big enough for me to put it in.
Yeah, the biggest one that I found this weekend was a Soto preform. So
That's
I couldn't drop off any of my travel bugs.
Wow, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Chad, give me something. Give me one.
Cachers who never see to, or worse, leave their own trash there at the cache.
Yeah, there's nothing more annoying than when you go to a cache and you see like a water bottle laying there and you know it's from a cacher, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it's 50 feet off the trail, it's like, yeah, the only person coming back here is a cacher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's that gets on my nerves as well. Yeah. Jesse Brown, you got one?
Unsolvable puzzles.
Oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like puzzles. I love puzzles.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, you're a puzzler. Oh, yeah, you are a puzzler.
I like difficult puzzles.
Uh-huh.
I don't like puzzles that are intentionally made to never be solved. That's pointless, frustrating, and takes up good space that could be otherwise, utilized to hide worthwhile caches that people could actually find.
I'm going to have to agree with you on this. Normally, I would have said, nah, they're all solvable, but I think there's some out there that are intentionally meant never to be solved.
Yep.
Or just solve, you only want your buddies to solve it. We've had stuff here in Buffalo Grove where it's, you got to basically be in the head of the guy who created it when at the time he created it. If you need a hint to solve it, if you need slight nudges from the owner to solve it, it's unsolvable.
No, I would say if they're willing to give hints and it does lead you to the solution, that's okay. But there are cachers out there that will put out a puzzle that they will not give you a hint on, and that they've never been solved.
Oh yeah, I have plenty near me that haven't been solved. Absolutely. Okay. Next up, people who hide micros in areas where you could easily hide a bus. That drives me crazy.
Hang on. As long as they've hit a bus out there, and then another one, an FU micro hide.
No.
Yeah,
hide one.
I would put out an FU Scott micro hide right after the bus.
Drives me crazy when Jesse and I walk all the way out someplace and it's a freaking micro. Drives me crazy. And you have all this room, and you have beautiful trees to hide things in. Beautiful. These huge, beautiful trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, or down trees. And it just drives me nuts. Come on, man. This game was not meant for micros in the woods. This game was meant for ammo cans after a long hike. Personally, I think. Chad, what do you think? Give me another one.
Cachers who don't give back. That is, they never put out a cache, have never hosted an event, never do field maintenance of a cache. Well, actually, that kind of is for those who have put out, but they never do any field maintenance. Not saying that you need to do all these things, just some of them.
Yeah.
If you made 1,000 finds, put out a cache or two, or host an event. And if you put out 1,000 caches, do a little bit of maintenance.
You can't maintain 1,000 caches, dude. You can't do it.
Then don't put out 1,000. Or the only 1,000 that you should put out then is an ET highway that is intentional, that you drop the container, the end ones in the end, and they kind of get recycled.
Yeah, that's totally community maintenance.
Right.
That's tripping. Jesse, what about you?
Along the lines of containers, it irritates me to no end when I lift a lamp skirt and I find a nice bison tube or some sort of inappropriate container for that particular location. And that goes along with what you said about finding micros in the woods. Why are we hiding bison tubes under a lamp skirt?
Well, you know what happens when I find a bison under a lamp skirt.
I do know exactly what happens.
You swap them out?
Swap it out. That's right.
Really?
And I have no shame. Oh, yeah. If I find a bison under a lamp skirt, I go into my trunk and I get a pill bottle and I swap them. Yeah. A bison has no business being under a lamp skirt. I'm sorry. Call me an a-hole, but that's...
If you swapped out the single cache that I have hidden under a lamp skirt with it, that I wanted that thing protected for life.
So now I know I got to go to California and go get Chad's.
Well, this one's in Houston. So.
Oh, it's in Houston. Oh,
it's in Houston, where you got the humidity and stuff, and pill bottles. The humidity will get in there.
So, are there a ton of a bison under lamp skirts?
I wouldn't say there's not a ton of them. But all the pill bottles, they get soggy underneath there. But I think it's because of the humidity.
Really?
Yeah. So the environment,
Fair enough. All right. Next up, people who don't trade swag fairly, and particularly those who replace it with rubbish. If you're going to take something, then just take it. Don't don't replace that. If you're gonna replace it with some, a receipt in your pocket, don't even do it. It's not even worth it.
Acorn.
What?
An acorn.
An acorn, yeah, an acorn, yeah.
A penny.
But I mean, and that being said, nothing irritates me more than finding an ammo can when I do find them, and finding an empty ammo can. That drives me insane.
Yeah, well, it doesn't bother me because I don't trade swag.
No, but
it's just
the whole point of it is I have children, and the cache, and my children like going and finding the ammo cans because there's stuff in them, and that's how I in a way to get to the cache.
Oh, I remember a newbie cacher wrote a nastygram in her log about me because I was the previous finder, not leaving any swag in the cache. It was like, there was no swag in the cache. she was taking her kids out, and it was like, I can't help it if there was no swag in the cache. I don't bring swag with me to put it in the container.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we usually don't carry swag. I don't usually. I have ready-made containers and whatnot, but I don't carry swag in my backpack. I should, but it's usually when we go out all day, and so I'm the one humping the water usually, and so my bag's already pretty heavy.
Right.
So to carry the swag, but
if I'm putting out a container that has enough room for swag, I'll put swag in there.
Oh my God, we have a full. What do we have? What is outside, Jesse? A whole.
I have like one of those big, huge a bin, a drawer,
just full of
Rubbermaid
crap.
Full of swag.
Full of swag.
And when we moved it, we said, I think it's time to hide some more caches. We have a lot of swag. We have a lot of containers too.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we will. It's come spring.
Yep.
Chad, you're up.
So bad containers. If you know that Gladware container is going to start disintegrating the moment you put it out,
yes,
maybe you should spend $1 on a matchstick container instead.
Yeah, those Glad ones. Yeah, those things. Even in Chicago, those things just get destroyed pretty quick.
My favorite was the Wendy's salad container. Clear plastic Wendy's salad container.
Oh boy.
I mean,
under a bridge.
I get it. I mean, when you're a noob to this game and you see, like, oh, it's a locket. It's got a cover to it, and it's it's plastic. It'll survive the week, maybe, but that's I mean, obviously it was a new cacher, so you got to cut him some slack, but yeah, those always make me laugh.
Right.
Jesse.
Mm-hmm. People who think that the way that they cache is the only way or the right way to play the game.
Of course, the way I play is the only way and right way.
Right. Explain. Right. Just give me an example.
Well, people who put down lamp skirts because they don't think that they don't like them. That's fine. You don't have to like them. Don't find them. But that doesn't mean that other people shouldn't hide that style or find them.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
You see what I'm saying? Or, people who like follow the quote unquote rules, which are really more suggestions or guidelines, like to a T, and police everybody else.
Right.
Like, I'm going to play the game the way that I'm going to play it. There's no winner. There's no, we're not keeping score.
Right.
I'm going to play it the way I want to play it for my own personal enjoyment.
Right. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of things to say, when it comes to, lamp skirt hides, for example, or stuff like that. Yeah. And I've always said there's a place for them in this game. I think there's a place for every kind of hide in this game,
Or people who think that, that people who do exclusively power trails aren't real cachers.
Right. And I disagree with that. It's how they choose to play this game. And I'm okay with that. It's not my cup of tea, but.
Right. And, I don't run to every Walmart parking lot and pick up lamp skirt hides personally. But, if I'm in a Walmart, I might pull out my phone and look and see, hey, is there one here? And I'll grab it.
Oh, absolutely. There's times where it's, when Jesse and I want to, it's a weekend night. We want to go, if you're going out, we want to go out caching. We really can't go into the woods at night. So we're hunting, we're hunting local. We're hunting, parks and park and grabs,
Yeah.
So it has its place. It definitely has its place.
Definitely.
And to go the other extreme, there's some people who maybe only find 10 or 15 caches a year.
Oh, sure.
And that doesn't make them, not a cacher any less of a cacher. That's just their own personal pace and style.
And for individuals who have mobility issues, that might be they're pretty much limited to things that they can roll up to.
Absolutely.
Yes. Moving along. Guys, once again, give us a call, 808-468-7924. If you got one that grinds your gears, let's hear about it. You see how we're doing this here. So you got something you haven't heard yet, give us a call. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And I want to check on this call in studio, make sure it's working, guys. Come on. Next up, Jesse, you'll know who I'm talking about with this one. People who copy and paste ridiculously long logs full of useless text, not even related to geocaching, let alone that particular cache. It's even worse when they tell you they're doing it.
Do you actually see that?
Oh, yes, we do. Jesse, do we see that?
Yes. I think that what it is that there's this is my take on how it all came about. There's a challenge out there that has to do with like the average number of characters or the average words in your log or something like that. And this person didn't meet that challenge. And so they're padding their logs to try to meet that challenge. And so it's like just this long story that says, and from here on out, this doesn't have anything to do with my cache, but I have to add words to my log. So here goes. And they
literally spew for 300 words.
Yeah, there's some badges out there from some of the page generators that include that. And I remember I wasn't really padding like that, but I was being more verbose specifically because I wanted to get that badge or that badge number up. But I was talking about the cache, about the trail, about
no. These people literally say, ignore everything underneath this, and then go on a freaking
that's cheese
4-paragraphed story about their geocaching beginnings.
Yeah, that's utter cheese.
What about you, Chad? Let me hear one.
People I kind of go the opposite way there. Okay. People who only put TFTC on a great or at least a highly favorited cache, something that deserves a comment like great view, great camo, great puzzle. Don't be selfish with your comments. Now that LPC in a Walmart parking lot, sure, give it a TFTC.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't go TFTC. I'm not that kind of a cacher, but I do have a copy and paste. I have a, like a standard thing I say, and I add to it. If it's extra special, I will add something to the bottom of it. But, 9 times out of 10, it's basically just, what I say. Jesse's on a call, but we do have a call here. I'm looking here. Call in queue. Looks like we got, hold on. We got Cody Dog. Cody, hello, sir.
How's it going?
Who's this? Hello?
Hello. It's Cody.
Hello, Cody.
Hello.
Cody Dog. Board. There you go. How you doing, sir?
It's going good.
What do you got? What irks you? Let me know what irks you.
When people leave food in caches. Drives me nuts.
That's a good one too. Yeah, I think Jesse's got that on her list. Yes, when people
especially like candy.
Yes, I have found sticks of chewing of gum and stuff in there. It's like, you think this is swag? You think someone wants to eat this?
Yeah.
Other than the friggin' ants that are infesting the cache now.
Cody,
the ants, the squirrels, I have a cache up in Wisconsin. It's an ammo can. Someone put a full sandwich into my cache container.
Oh, disgusting. I can imagine that after a few days.
So food,
Right. I was lucky that, I had someone look at it.
Yeah. Was that the one in front of your parents' place?
Yeah.
Oh, someone put food in that?
Yep. Whole sandwich.
I actually have food and caches on my list too. Scott, do you remember when we FTF'd a cache that actually was the one in the Wendy's salad container?
Uh-huh.
And it said right there in the description, we left some snacks as an FTF prize because I know you cachers get hungry. And there was like granola bars and fruit snacks in the cache.
So we got snacks. So we got that. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know if we ate it. Jesse, did we eat it? I don't remember. We probably didn't eat it.
No, we definitely did not eat No, I think they want to know if Cody ate the sandwich.
Of course Cody ate the sandwich.
So I started wondering if people thought it was like a lunch box.
So you didn't eat the sandwich, Cody, is what you're saying?
No, it got pitched, and I think there was some Tootsie Rolls in there too that started to melt.
Oh, yummy. I would have eaten the Tootsie Rolls. That I would have eaten.
No, I've just picked the stuff out before and thrown it away, and then added a nasty comment in my log about individuals putting food in caches. That this is not appropriate.
Yeah, that's a total newbie move. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Cody. That's a good one. Thank you, sir.
You guys have a good one.
Always good to talk to you. Talk to you soon, bye.
Bye.
So before we get to Jesse, we got one more caller here. Let's call. Oh, looks like we've got Kara Killer, Adam Demshire online. Adam
Here I am.
Hello. How are you, sir?
Doing good.
So what do you got? Thank you so much for being on the show last week. It was a pleasure to have you.
It was a pleasure to be on. Thanks.
As you could see, the calling feature is working again.
That's very nice.
So what do you got for me? Let me hear yours.
All right. So I could give you a few of them, but I'll just say one that has particularly annoyed me from time to time is when I notice that somebody has removed favorite points from a cache, like after the cache was archived.
Oh yes. So you find an archive cache and you favored it, so you remove the favorite points. Is what you're saying, correct?
Right. So, and I only even realize this happens because if you're a Project GC paying member, it notifies you whenever somebody gives you a favorite or takes one away.
Yes, it does.
Then you get a notification saying, "Hey, so-and-so removed the favorite from this cache."
Yes, I remember Jesse.
It's just annoying to me.
I remember Jesse screaming a couple of times because.
No, I didn't. I didn't scream. It was just odd. And it wasn't an archived cache. The cache is still active, but somebody removed a favorite point like 4 years after they found it.
Yeah.
What?
It's like, who did you piss off?
Jesse pisses off many people many days of the week.
I do. I'm pretty sure you're talking about yourself.
We couldn't pinpoint who it was. She just pisses off everyone. All right. Yeah, Carrot, that's a really good one. Yes. I know.
I guess the only reason is if you are someone who actually uses every single favorite point that you get, and you're just out there pushing them out there. Other than that, I mean, I've got over 100 favorites to give.
I
have like 600.
I have over 500 to give. I have so many to give. I don't give them out. I really don't. I mean, it's rare that I give out a favorite point.
It's rare, but I did give out a couple this past weekend since I was going after highly favorited and caches, and there was reasons they were highly favorited.
Right. Okay. Good. What else you got, Carrot?
Well, I've got my all-time most irking, which is to go for an FTF only to find out somebody already found the cache hours before, but never logged it.
Oh, that's the standard. Yes, that
Yeah.
might be the number one. If we were
Yeah.
playing Family Feud, that would be number one. In crime.
Yeah, I've got that on my list there. Cachers who don't log an FTF from the field, and there was one individual that I know he had a smartphone, and I know he did it intentionally. And it's like, I'm going out there and I'm stoplights. I'm refreshing the cache to see if someone hit it.
Right.
Because if someone hit it, I'm turning back around.
Turning back around, absolutely, sure.
And then I get there and it's like, oh, he hit it 4 hours ago. Because he's the type of individual that's out there at 4 a.m.
Really? Oh, he's that guy.
And then he doesn't log it. It's like, I always immediately FTF will add more later.
Right? Yeah. You do if anything, the note. Right.
Right.
Yes. I hear you.
Around here we do FTFML. FTF more
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
Well, they do.
Right.
I don't. I just.
Well,
do it
right.
quick. I don't do that.
People who actually write meaningful logs do that.
I don't write meaningful logs, so can't. All right, Karen.
Yeah, my all-time.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say my all-time worst of that situation was the cache publishing at 10:30 in the morning, but I'm at work and I'm checking it throughout the entire day. And I finally got off work at 8 p.m. and I drive across state lines into South Carolina to get this cache, only to find out it was actually logged at like 11 a.m., 30 minutes after it published.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that'd
So-
be kind of irritating.
Yeah, I mean, they all are, but that one especially got me that I drove after an extremely long day at work and nothing was there. Yeah.
Yeah, that would bug me. Yes, absolutely. Okay. That stinks.
Right on, but I'll get off and let you guys continue on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling. Thank you for being the interim host. We appreciate it very much, by the way. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
You're always nice to be the go-to
Bye.
guy. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Carrot.
Sounds good. Bye.
Jesse, you are up, ma'am.
People don't do multis. Drives me crazy.
Yes.
Some of the absolute best, most thoughtful, most creative caches that I have found are multis. And people just don't hit them. They seem to be the least
Nope.
hit. Did you say nope or yep?
I know I'm agreeing with you. No one hunts multis. No one hunts multis.
But there are great caches out there.
I agree, and there are great multis out there, but I have also been probably frustrated more by multis than in the field, that is, than any other cache type.
Well, yes, because it's well, first of all, it's really annoying when you're on you do a 6-stage multi and you're on like stage 4 and it's not there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There's so many times I've had to go out 2 and 3 times just to get to the final stage.
Right. But there's also, and I use this one all the time, and I'm going to continue to use it because it's a good example of a cache that a multi Jesse has and where we used to live, that you literally park to another cache and you have to literally walk past the multi, walk past stage 1, which is a rock with graffiti on it. So you could solve it right there. And the cache is like 200 feet away from that, and people walk right by it to get the other cache, to get the park and grab, and then walk back to the car, completely ignoring the multi, not even looking at it. Oh yeah. Maybe all you have to do is just like, look at these letters on this rock and walk 200 feet. And I have another smiley,
Yeah. That I definitely wouldn't just walk past it. I mean, if I'm there at the multi, and I'm doing caches along the way, I'm gonna at least see, hey, can I get this stage? Hey, can I get the next stage? Hey, and move, and at least try to progress through it.
Yes.
And I even say in the description that it's a short 2-stage
right.
with virtual stage 1. I let people know up front what it is.
And that was my point, was that like, and hey guys, just for the, if you're going to put out a multi, which I highly recommend you do, if you do put one out, say how many stages it is in the description. Don't let it be a surprise. No one likes surprises. Just tell them,
or make the title 2-stage multi.
quick Stu, 2-stage multi, But yeah, and like I agree with Jesse completely. Some of the best caches that I have done, hands down, have been multi caches.
Yeah, one of my most highly favorited caches is a 2-stage UV lamp multi, and it's probably one of my least found ones as well.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's no one no one hunts them. I don't know why. It's the redheaded stepchild of the geocaching world, man. Is the multi. Good one, Jess. That's a good one. For me, armchair logging. What is the point of armchair logging? Never understood this. I never got it.
I don't get it either.
I don't understand either, but I'm going to go back to what I said. Everybody plays the game their own way. If somebody wants to play that way,
the whole point of this game is to get out of the house. That's the whole point. Get off the couch, go out,
I agree with you. And that's how I play the game, and that's how you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I don't get it.
If it makes that person feel good, whatever.
And I'm going to give you an example here. Years ago, probably about 7-8 years ago, I'm down Southern Illinois, and I'm caching. This is pre-Jesse. And me and the cacher I'm with, we are noticing that the local hotshot, which is the local, the big guy, the big rug, his name is on every single online log, but his name is not on every single log that we find. And I know some of you are going to say, well, maybe the log was replaced, maybe the cache was replaced. No, this was like his was very recent, and everybody before and after him was on the log, and we got to the point where we literally were checking. We were like opening it up, and doing everything to see. Nope, not on the log. Now, you're local. I mean, to me, if you're going to armchair Chicago caches, don't armchair your local caches. You want to go find your local caches,
All right.
But yeah,
there was a guy doing that who his account was only 5 days old, and he had logged the ape cache down in Brazil, and I'm like, okay, because I like reading the logs for the ape cache to go down there.
Wait, Chad. I tell your story. Hold on, Cody. Do me a favor. I know you're in the chat rooms. Give me a call. Call the show back again, please. Go ahead.
So I'm reading the log. It's like, this doesn't really sound like someone who's really found the ape cache. And I look at it, and it's like, okay, he's got 25 finds. Let's take a look at his finds. and they were across 3 continents. Highly favorited caches. And it's like, dude, I don't think so. I contacted the cache owner.
Did you? Really?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if he was Junior was a cache owner at that time or not. But I contacted Junior and told him he takes care of the cache. Now he's the cache owner. But I told him, I was like, look, this guy wasn't there. He's posting a bunch of illegitimate caches, and I think Groundspeak figured it out and banned his account.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. So I've got Cody back on the line real quick. Cody, you there?
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of armchairing, Chad, I'm going to come back to this. Cody actually had a cache called Armchair. This was the name of his cache. He had it in the infamous Bussy Woods, if you're a Chicago Geocache podcast listener. And it was deep into the woods. I mean, like, nobody wanted to truck. And Cody, why don't you tell the story of your cache?
It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek play on words, obviously armchairs. So it was, I physically put out a cache, and it was a Barbie armchair. The plastic is probably maybe 6 inches by 6 inches plastic armchair that you could stick your Barbie on from one of my sister's toys that she didn't use anymore. I attached a film canister to the bottom, and I put it on a tree like a pull down, and just put it out there and just tongue in cheek, just let people do whatever they wanted to do with it. And this was years ago. Geocaching has since kicked me off from having that cache.
Yeah, they archive. But so what happened? So where were people logging your cache?
The biggest offenders was definitely Aussies. Somehow someone found out in Australia, and it took like wildfire. It just exploded through Australia.
So boy, for finding his cache. Did anyone actually find the cache, Cody? Because honestly, I armchaired it. I'm not gonna lie, I totally armchaired it. I was second to find too.
Guilty.
I think the FTF did. I think there was a group of like 3 people who did, and for some reason I forgot to put a sheet of paper in the container. So they were kind of mad. They were like, "Were we actually supposed to send this?" Because there was no paper.
That's awesome. And did anyone else actually find it, or was it just armchairs across the board?
It was so deep in the woods, and then someone ended up stealing it.
I know, and then someone took it.
I don't have any recollection if anyone actually found it.
But like, we all armchaired it. I mean, everybody did, right? I mean, everybody armchaired it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that would never fly in today.
Yeah.
No way that would fly.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
I got kind of a nasty letter saying this isn't allowed, and I told them, I'm like, there's an actual container out there. There's a slip of paper, and they're like, there's no way that all these people have found it.
Yeah, they gave you a slap on the wrist.
They gave me a slap on the wrist.
Oh. Okay. All right. Thank you, Cody. I forgot about that until we started talking about it, and then it reminded me of it. And it's a great story to share on the show. So I appreciate you sharing it. Thank you so much.
There's a 5.5 liars cache in Houston, but you actually have to solve a puzzle to get to the first stage to get the instructions about it being a liar cache.
Really?
So that one's actually pretty cool, and the logs on it are just awesome. I go back there every once in a while and read the logs, because they're usually about 2 or 3 log, whatever the limits are there. So 2 or 3 pages there. I think mine was 3 pages of describing my finding of the cache.
Right. Sure. Okay. Cody, thank you so much, sir. Cody, by the way, there is an FTF in Lake Zurich if you want to run for it with me later.
I got mine on the first. I'm all good. I'm all good.
Oh, he's all good. All right. So never mind that. Thank you, sir. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Jesse, I believe you're up in the last couple of minutes here. Right? It was Jesse up, right? Yes, Jesse's up.
Yeah.
Yes.
People who post a needs maintenance, or even worse, a needs archived on those rare virtuals or webcams.
Oh, when you put its archive on a webcam.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
That happened to it. That happened.
Yeah, I seem to remember that happening a few years ago. I can't remember which mega it was, but there was a webcam near a mega that was coming up very soon.
It was in St. Louis.
It was the Geo Woodstock in St. Louis?
Geo Woodstock, yeah. There was one right outside of St. Louis.
Right. And it ended up, there was so much controversy around it because somebody with like less than 100 finds put a needs archived on it. And then people were, trying to log it, and the cam wasn't working. But that being said, yeah, don't put a needs maintenance archive on an old virtual or webcam. Just let it run its course naturally.
Or email the host. Yeah. But again, I guess it's not knowing any better kind of a thing. But
yeah, I've had a number of newbies do that on some of my trickier caches, or at least tricky for newbies. And it's like every time it's a process of explaining that no, you just haven't found it.
Right.
But yeah, if you wind up taking a virtual or a webcam out of this world, shame on you.
Okay. You don't hear much about this anymore, but you used to. So I put it on the list here. People who make derogatory remarks about smartphone cachers. Do you remember when this was a big thing, Chad? I mean,
Yeah, because I was using both from pretty much the start in 2010. So, and I heard some derogatory remarks about it. And it's like, well, hey, yeah, I got a GPSR too. Like I use them both.
Yeah, like you're not a real cacher if you use a phone, kind of a thing. Now I think it's pretty much the norm. I don't think it's like that much anymore.
No.
Now you get looks from the old schoolers, but that's about it, you know. But not like it was. Not like, yeah, like you said, I wouldn't say not like it was like, not in like, 2010, 2012, it was a lot worse then.
Right.
What about you, Chad? You have any more?
Those who guest log a lab cache who aren't even at the event. So I guess that's kind of like armchair logging, except for they're out there just throwing words at it, and then they got communities out there where they will share once if they figure it out, they'll share it. And so you got, this is a cache in a mega in the US, and you got hundreds of European caching accounts, or thousands of European caching accounts that log it. It's like, and they didn't log the mega. It's like, you weren't even here, dude.
Right. Right. You can't do that anymore. They took the site down, I think.
Did they? Okay.
Isn't that what we heard? Didn't they take the site down?
I knew they were doing something to try to prevent it. I knew at GeoCoin Fest in Houston a few years ago, the person that put out all the lab caches actually wound up having things like quotation marks around them or some sort of punctuation, and that had to be included. If that wasn't included, it didn't get scored.
No, supposedly, I think. Jess, where did we hear that?
We were talking to Joshua.
Is he the one who said that they actually turned off the website? So it's now only via the
app only.
That's it. It's
okay.
App only, and you have to
awesome.
be there. Yeah, you have
the Adventure Lab app.
Awesome.
You have to be there while you log it, and you can log it only on the app. It's my understanding.
Right.
We don't have any near us for me to test. So.
Right. Unfortunately, not yet. Anyway.
Not yet.
August.
Yes.
That'll be the closest, I think.
Yep.
I'll try it in May.
Oh yeah, you're going.
Yes. Let us know.
Yes. Jesse, you're up.
People who change the DT on an old cache or on a puzzle after it's been around for a while and cords get passed around and they think it's easier, and so they maybe lower the DT.
Yes.
Yeah. I've done this once, but I contacted all the cache owners who had logged it. It was a multi, so it wasn't a lot of cache owners, and I had gone back out there with 6 or 7 people and did a maintenance run while they were finding the cache, and realized that when it's not in winter, the DT really shoots the hell up on this. The terrain part shot up, and there were people like complaining while we're going back there. It's like, why is the terrain so low?
Well, so at least you made it higher, not lower.
Right. I made it higher, and but I contacted all the people that were out there, made sure, hey, if this is affecting your DT grid, then I'll keep it the way it is. But if it's not, I'd like to change it. And I got all thumbs up back from them, so I changed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend
it. It messes with people's, challenge qualifiers or their stats, their fizzy grid stuff.
Right. and I knew that already because I went from like having two more spaces to fill to 4 spaces to fill in about a week, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. That's what happened. Good one, Jess. That's a really good one. I like that.
Yes.
Let's look at mine here. This is kind of what Chad said, but a little different. So that's like kind of flipped. Cache owners who moan about logs not being full or detailed enough. I can see why it may be annoying when it is such a good cache, but if it's a micro hidden in the back of a street sign in a big standard residential street, what more do you want someone to say other than TFTC?
Yeah. And I've got some caches that aren't great, and the TFTC doesn't bother me on those.
Mm-hmm. I don't get TFTC much. Jess, do you get that? I really don't get it that much on my caches.
Only from people trying to be snarky.
Okay, snarky.
It's usually a new cacher that I'll get a TFTC from.
Really, I don't get that many. I'll get like found it or something like that, or
yeah. Well, I would count a found it a 2-word response as in that category.
But that being said, then what do you want? You want a 20-minute,
No, for some,
made noise and it bugged people,
for a cache hanging at 5-foot level in a tree. No, I don't expect anything more than found it.
Right. Yeah. Chad, anything else you got?
Yeah. Cachers who place caches without ever verifying coordinates on a satellite view. So when it's several hundred feet off, either you've transposed the digit, which has happened to the best of us, or you got some bad chords. But a quick copy and paste into Google Maps and satellite view, clicking satellite view will show you where those chords actually take you.
Yeah, if you're not hopping on a Google, and I was guilty of this early in my career. Now I do it. I always do it now. I'll hop on Google and tweak, but I used to not do it early, and that's when obviously cell phones were crappier. That's where the air quote term Scott Burke's close came into the world in Chicago, just because my cords were usually a good 30, 40 feet off because I would not check them and I'd use a phone to hide it, But now I go into I've learned the Google trick and go in and tweak.
We had a cacher in Houston that his GPS was always 40 feet off, and you knew to go 40 feet northeast of the coordinates that he posted to find the cache. And it was his GPS unit. I don't know what it was about it, but his GPS unit was always 40 feet off. He finally replaced it.
That's funny. What's even worse is when people actually do that intentionally. And someone actually said this in the chat room earlier, when COs put a cache and then intentionally make the posted coordinates, far away, just to make it quote unquote difficult.
We had a cacher in Chicago that he had like 700-800 hides years ago. This is probably just use this before you were you around?
Yeah, it was like right around the time I started.
Yeah. And once, and he was awesome because he upped my numbers by hundreds, but the problem is he'd put these woodsy hides out, and what he would do is his cords always stunk. But usually if it's a park and grab, where it is. Even if the cords are 100 feet off, it's either that skirt or this skirt, but
right.
when you're in the woods, that kind of makes a difference.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him once and I said, dude, your woodsy hides kind of suck. Like your cords suck. He's like, no, I do that on purpose. I go, why do you do that on purpose? He goes, because I give you so many easy caches with the park and grabs. I mean, hundreds of them. I got to make you work a little bit for the other ones. What's his response?
Mm.
And I told him, like, dude, putting a cache 200 feet from the posted coordinates isn't making it harder. It's logging DNFs. Want to make it harder, put it up the tree, or don't put it 200 feet away.
Yeah. If you want to make it harder, give it better camo.
Yeah.
I'll always average and then and if it's that far off, I'll always average and post the coordinates where I found it in the log.
Yeah, it's Yeah.
And I found many caches where I've had to go back through the logs and find someone else who's, hey, found it 50 feet off, blah blah blah. Here's cords.
Right.
And I go to those places, bam, right there.
Right. Yes. Joe, who was that? Was that mine or was that yours, Chad? Whose was that?
I think that was yours.
That was mine. All right, Chad, you're up.
Oh no, that was the satellite view. I did that, and
Okay,
you took off from there.
Last one, Jess. Anything else?
Last one on my list is that I have to actually be an adult and be responsible and don't have time to go caching more.
Yes, it is difficult when our kids get older. It's actually getting harder and harder to find time to cache, especially when baseball season comes around. But yes, it's always difficult, when you see your friends who either don't have kids or have older kids and they're out caching all the time, because they don't have kids in that sweet spot, which is the preteen, the teenage, anywhere from like 6 to like 15 or 16, that spot right there is tough to cache when you got kids that age, So, all right, Chad, you have anything else? My list is clean. Chad, you got anything else?
I think I'm clean.
All right, guys, there you go. There's our Irks for the evening. Thanks to our callers for calling in. Thanks everybody who's listening. Next week's show, Chad. Next week's show, we are talking the GPSR changes that are happening, and we are going to have Limax on the show to talk about what's happening with the GPSRs, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen next week. It's happening this week.
April 6th.
April 6th. So it's this weekend.
This weekend.
So unfortunately, I have to wait until the next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we're having Limax on the show to talk about the GPSR changes that are happening. Chad, do you know anything that's going on with this? What's happening with it?
Well, I know the leap day or whatever you want to call it is happening, or is it leap hour? Something.
I don't know, man. I can do
something with a time shift is happening that they have to do every once in a while.
But Limax is I guess he works for GPS. I don't know. We'll find out next week. But he's supposed to be the guy in the know. So we're gonna find out. But that's next week's show, guys. So Jen and Jesse, good job. Thank you so much to both of you for your input. Thank you to our callers. Thank you to our people in the chat room and our listeners. Thank you to our sponsors. So let me set this up and we will do the closing of the show. Please join us again next week as we take your calls live every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here at geocachingpodcast.com. The archived video versions of our podcasts are available on our website and on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on most of your favorite podcasters. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, please subscribe to the show on YouTube, and don't forget to click that little bell in the corner to get notified when we go live. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for updates on upcoming shows and general geocaching information. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you will get a ton of additional information, extra videos, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/The Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, and the Max Suds Body Company. Hey, please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll see you next week, talking geocaching, taking your phone calls, and in the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we'll talk to you guys next week. We are clear. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Thank you so much in the chat room. You guys were good tonight. Thank you to the callers. It's good to see the call-in feature working again. And we will talk to you guys next week with Limax. So everybody have a good week, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk soon.